One of the biggest things that drew me into movement training is how you can do it anywhere, anytime with minimal to zero gear, where all you really need is time in your body connected to your head. It makes it feel like an act of freedom, unchained from any obligations to a gym, weights and specific perfect conditions that allow you to train. And as cool as this promise is, in reality we sometimes do want a specific place to move and train in, like right now during the winter, when outdoor training isn't as attractive as it usually is, or when you're trying to unlock specific movements that require some weights. At some point, all of us doing any kind of bodyweight training have to face the fact that the gym isn't always an enemy, but maybe even a friend. In this video, I want to talk about how you can find the best place to train. Will you grow faster, improve your quality of life, and most importantly, enjoy moving in the most? What's up? Nachshon here. I create videos about how to have a higher quality of life, and today we'll be focusing on the physical aspect of it, moving. If it sounds interesting to you, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Anyway, let's get started. So the way we'll do this is we'll go through all of the factors that matter in terms of where you should train. Then we'll go over all of the places you can train in, and then we'll combine them together and figure out what suits you the most. So there are the obvious factors like weather, lighting, and money. We usually don't like to waste money too much. Being able to see what we do is kind of important, especially with handstands or balance work. And we like to keep our nervous system functioning and to avoid getting into hypothermia. And getting wet during a workout isn't very fun, at least not by rain. Then there are the not so obvious factors. The first one being how specialized your workouts are, which usually correlates with how advanced you are. When you start training, and throughout your entire movement journey, to be honest, you want to think about your skill set as a circle you're slowly expanding, and not just as a straight line going in just one direction. We're generalists, not specialists. But at some point in our training, usually when we transition from being beginners to starting to figuring this movement thing out, we discover some shortcomings or holes in our skill set. For some, it's strength. For others, it's coordination, endurance, or flexibility, like in my case. This weakness will usually not only block you in one aspect of your training, but in many, because at some point we start to combine different aspects together to progress in specific movements, like in handstands, for example. We first start learning what good form looks like, then we build endurance, then balance, and once we feel comfortable enough, we start to progress. One of these progressions is the handstand press, which combines handstand work with flexibility in our lower body. So if you lack in the flexibility department, like I do, you won't only suffer in the flexibility aspect of your movements, but also in the handstands aspect. What this means is that sometimes we'll have to step back from being generalist and specify our workouts to our specific limiting weakness. And there's no better place for specificity than the gym. At most gyms, you'll be able to find tools that will help you overcome your specific weakness. If you're stuck in your one-arm chin-up progression, for example, maybe your mid-traps aren't strong enough to help with the pulling motion, so you should strengthen them specifically. And the best way to do that would be to work with bands and isolate the retraction movement. Maybe your hamstrings are too short and you need to lengthen them. A great way to do that would be to use Jefferson curls, an amazing loaded progressive stretching exercise that uses weights. You see where I'm going with this? Sure, sometimes you will be able to find exercises that will answer your specific needs outdoors, but most of the times the most effective tool is located inside the gym. This whole topic is really interesting, how in the movement world we're taught that the way to progress is by starting with isolation, moving on to integration, and then transitioning to improvisation, as if moving through these levels is just a one-sided street, when in reality you jump from one to the other all the time. Beginners start with a lot of integration work to start to understand how to move, and the advanced often focus on very specific things. Anyway, that's one factor. The second one is probably the most important one in my opinion, and it's the social aspect of movement. I'm not talking about how much you like people and whether or not you want to be in your own world when you work out or to constantly talk to people. I'm talking about where you can find others to train with and learn from. Training in a gym usually means that the people around you won't be very similar to you, as most people going to the gym are there to get shredded, not to learn how to move. And the chances of having friends training with you at the same gym are very slim. Training outdoors, on the other hand, is pretty good for training with others, since it doesn't cost money and there's plenty of room. Now, training with people doesn't have to happen every workout, but you definitely want it to be part of your routine for two reasons. One is that it's just fun being around people who share the same passion as you do, and two is they will make you grow a lot faster than if you train just by yourself, both because they might know better than you about specific exercises and because they will charge you with inspiration, because they will definitely work on things you don't, or be better at things you do work on. On top of that, there's the whole partner work aspect of movement training, where you challenge each other with games and move according to others, which brings an element of randomness and mind games into your practice. So even if humans are not your cup of tea and you just want to focus on moving and growing, nothing will make you grow faster than finding good movement partners. So these are the factors you want to take in when deciding where you want to train. Now let's look at the options you probably have where you live and how they differ. One is training outside, the second is training in a gym, and the third is in a studio. So training outside has a very low barrier to entry. All you really need is rings, a tree, bar, or whatever you can hang your rings on, and to be honest, that's only for the strength work days. It's exposed to weather, the lighting isn't always good, and it doesn't have almost any tools, but it's free, there's a ton of space, you can play whichever music you like, which is huge, and it's very social. Then we have the gym, which has a higher barrier to entry. You need to pay for it. It doesn't have a lot of room, everyone will think you're a weirdo, you train by yourself, and it's not very easy finding a place that has rings and enough space to move. But you're now weatherproof, you can train whenever you like because lighting is no longer an issue, and it has all the tools you'll ever need. Studios, I would say, are the unicorns of places to train in. They're magical but very hard to find. You get all the benefits of training in a gym, like having all the tools you need, and you get the benefits of training outside, having a lot of space, and it's more social than the gym. The problem is that they are very hard to find, especially places that have an open gym membership when you can just come and go whenever you like. Usually it's only during specific times of day and they cost a lot of money. A real unicorn would be a movement studio with affordable 24/7 open gym membership, but it's just a fairy tale. Okay, so we covered the important factors you need to consider and went through all of the available places we can train in. Now let's figure out which one is best for you. By the way, if you like this video so far, please consider giving it a thumbs up. It would really help me grow this channel, so thank you for that. So let's prioritize things. Your number one goal should be to train outside as much as you can. It's what's going to help you grow the most because of how social it is. You have a ton of space to train in, and it's the most natural environment to move in. What it means exactly, I don't really know, but there's something in moving in nature that just feels right. And on top of that, it's free. If you hate people or have bad weather or lighting situation, try to find a studio if possible. If not, go for a gym. The best kinds of gyms I've found so far are ones with functional areas or just straight up CrossFit gyms. The music might not be your taste and the energy will be really high all the time, but you'll have all the tools you need and probably a lot of space too. If you're a beginner, outdoor training should be your shit. Most of your practice will be strength and coordination work to start and figure out some basic skills, so there's probably no need for special equipment. If you're lucky and have someone who teaches movement near you, you should mix the classes you take with solo workouts if needed, and they should be outdoors. If you can afford to train just in classes, that's super valuable. Lastly, if you have projects you want to work on, like handstand presses for example, or you have a specific weakness you need to deal with and you need specific tools for it you can only find in a gym, go for it. But again, prioritize studio over a gym if possible. Again, mainly because of the social aspect of your training. By the way, it doesn't have to be a weakness or a very specific project you're working on. You might just want to switch things up, work on lower body strength with weights, or maybe just have a crush on a trainer in your local gym. It's obviously okay to train in a gym, just know that it has its disadvantages. I, for example, can't work out outside anymore because of time and the winter, and I have specific limitations I need specific equipment for, so I train mostly in a CrossFit gym. But whenever I get the chance during the weekends, I always make an effort to train outdoors at the beach with friends and fellow movers. That's it. Let me know what you guys think. What's your favorite spot to train in? Are you a beach lover or a hardcore heavy lifting at the gym with metal music kind of person? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll be uploading some really cool videos in the next few weeks about cool movement exercises you can learn. And if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. It would really help me grow this channel, so thank you for that. Anyway, have a good day and peace.